Hi class, today we are factoring trinomials when a is equal to 1. So the essential question is, how do I factor trinomials when a is equal to 1? Your learning intention, I'm learning to factor quadratics. You've got two warm-up questions. One is factoring, make sure you check for your greatest common factor, and then factor by using grouping. And the second is one of our diamond problems. So please pause the video and see if you can do those two problems on your own. If you're able to do them, then you know that you are getting that concept down. Well, I hope you tried to do it on your own. Let's go through the answer together. I'm looking at all of these terms, and I notice each of them have a factor of 4. That they don't have a factor of x because this last one does not have an x in it. So I'm going to factor out 4. 4x to the third divided by 4 is x to the third. 4x squared, negative 4x squared divided by 4 is negative x squared. 8x divided by 4 is 2x, that's plus 2x. Negative 8 divided by 4 is negative 2. So I factored out the GFC. Now I'm going to factor by grouping. I'm going to look at the first two terms and the last two terms. So I'm looking at the factors of x to the third minus x squared. Well, I can factor out x squared. I am left with, well, x to the third divided by x squared is x minus x squared divided by x squared is 1. So this is equal to 4 times, and it'll be x squared times x minus 1. Okay, now I need to look at the last two terms. 2x minus 2. What can I factor out of it? I can factor out 2. 2x divided by 2 is x. Negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. So this is plus 2 times the quantity of x minus 1. Okay, I've done the factoring. I'm ready to finish it up. 4, and then it'll be x squared plus 2 and x minus 1. And we're done. Remember how we talked about the difference of squares? Well, this isn't the difference of squares. In fact, it's a prime, and it's not even, you can't even find an answer for it because when you set it up equal to 0, you're trying to take the square root of a negative number. And that will get us into something that we'll look at later on. Okay, so looking at the next one, what are the factors of 72 that add up to 17? If I'm looking at it, 1 times 72, 72. 1 plus 72 is not 17. 2 times 36. 36 plus 2 is not 17. 3 times, that one I never can remember. 24. 3 plus 24 is not 17. 4 times 18. 4 plus 18 is not 72. 6 times 12. 6 plus 12 is not 17, it's 18. We're real close. Okay, for the last one, 7 doesn't go in, so it's 8 times 9. 8 times 9 is 72. 8 plus 9 is 17, so this is plus 8 plus 9. So if I had the quadratic 2x squared, or x squared plus 17x plus 72. This would factor into x plus 8 times x plus 9. So if you're still having trouble with those, you'll probably need a little bit more practice. Okay, so when we're factoring, when we're thinking about this, the form of a quadratic is ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay, so looking at this first one we're going to factor. What is a? If I had to put a number in front of x squared, what would it be? Well, that's our 1. What's in front of x? That is 3. That's b. What is our number? That's 2. That's c. So if we're looking at this, we know the factors of 2 that add up to 3, everything has to be positive. Well, there's only 2 factors of 2, that's 1 and 2. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. So this factors to x plus 1 times x plus 2. Okay, for the next one, same thing. What's a? If I had to put a number here, what would it be? That number 1. What is b? It's actually a negative 11. And what is c? Positive 18. Okay, when this is negative, I know that I have to have at least one negative factor, one negative number. If I have to have at least one negative number, what do I know about my other factor? What times what gives me 18? What times a negative number will give me a positive number? Well, that means that both of them have to be negative. The only way I can get a positive 18 is if I'm multiplying by 2 negative numbers. So as I'm looking at what my options are, I've got 1 times 18. 1 plus 18 is not 11. And we're looking for the difference because actually we're adding them together. So what adds up to 11? 2 times 9. 2 plus 9 is 11. So I know it's negative 2 and negative 9. There's also 3 times 6, but that only gives us 9. That would not be the correct answer. So this is x minus 2 times x minus 9. Okay, so as I'm looking at the next one, this time I notice that instead of having a negative and a positive, I've got a negative and another negative. What is a? What would be up here? That would be a 1. What is b? What's in front of x? Negative 4. What is c? Negative 21. Okay, think again. If I'm multiplying 2 numbers together and I get a negative number, what do I know about my symbols? Well, one has to be positive and one has to be negative. Otherwise, you'll get a positive number. So as I'm looking at it, I'm looking for factors of 21 that when I subtract them, I get 4. I've got 1 and 21. 1 times 21 is 21. 21 minus 1 is not 4. I've got 3 times 7. 3 times 7 is 21. 7 minus 3 is 4. Okay, now, which one goes where? Well, you have to think again. If I want a -7, then my bigger number has to go to the negative side. Whatever your symbol is down here, the bigger factor will go with that symbol. So this is a +3 and a -7. X plus 3 times x minus 7. Do you think you can do the next one on your own? If so, pause the video now. If not, wait and you'll have 3 more to do on your own. So, if you want to try this, pause the video. If not, continue listening. Okay, what is A? That would be 1. What is B? That would be 2. What is C? That is -35. Once again, this is a +2. I know I've got to have a negative number when I multiply, so one must be positive and one must be negative. What are my factors of 35? 1 times 35. I'm looking for my difference because I've got opposite signs here. 35 minus 1 is not 2. Okay, it's not divisible by 2, it's not divisible by 3 or 4. It is divisible by 5. 5 times 7. Once again, I'm going to look. I've got a +2 here. The bigger number has got to go with the positive so that I end up with a positive answer. So this is 7 times -5, x plus 7 times x minus 5. So hopefully that shows you how you set it up, and it shows you the thought process you go through. Pause the video and see if you can do any of the next ones on your own. If you can, then you know you're starting to understand this concept. Pause the video now, please. Okay, let's get started. What's A? That would be 1. What's B? That would be 8. What's C? That would be 7. Factors of 7 that add up to 8. Both of them have to be positive because everything up here is positive. Okay, there's only one. 7 is a prime number. Its only factors are 1 and itself. 1 times 7 is 7. 1 plus 7 is 8. So it is x plus 1 times x plus 7. And we're done. For the next one, what is A? What's B? What's C? A is 1 because it's not there, so it's understood to be 1. B is 9, and C is -22. Okay, I'm multiplying and I get a negative number. I know one must be positive, one must be negative. When these are opposite signs, then I'm looking for my difference. On the fractions, on the factors, I'm looking for the difference. 1 times 22 is 22. 2 times 11. 11 minus 2 is 9. Once again, is the 9 positive or negative? The 9 is positive. That means 11 will be positive and it will go with the plus. X plus 11 times x minus 2. Okay, for the last one, If you haven't tried one on your own, I am going to say that it would be a good idea to try it now. So what does it look like? Pause the video and try it. Even if you're wrong, you're learning something. You can learn from your mistakes. Okay, let's look. What is A? It would be a 1. 1 times x squared is x squared. What's B? Negative 3. What's C? Negative 18. Okay, if this is negative, one has to be positive, one has to be negative. What are my factors of 18? When I subtract them, I get 3. 1 times 18. 18 minus 1 is not 3. 2 times 9. 9 minus 2 is not 3. 3 times 6. 6 minus 3 is 3. So, I'm looking to look at my symbols now. This is a negative 3. My bigger number goes with the negative. So it's going to be a negative 6 and a positive 3. X plus 3 times x minus 6, and we're done. I know I'm successful when I can use the diamond method to factor quadratics. This is factoring when a is equal to 1.